guys, this is Bethany Talks Piano, and this is Royal Mistakes, where we go over some of the common mistakes found in conservatory piano pieces. So this is a song called Robots from grade 1 repertoire book by Anne Crosby Gaudet. Gaudet, maybe. And this is a super fun song. A lot of students pick this up, even though it's kind of difficult, quite quickly because it's so fun. And we're kind of studying, there is like a bit of position work here. So first thing to note is right hand, you're in the bass clef. Your both hands are starting very low on the piano, and then we're kind of doing an octave move. Not even octave at the beginning, and kind of shifting position wise in this song. So hands are very close together. This is probably one of the times where one of the first times in pieces where your hands are almost on top of each other, which can feel very, just a little uncomfortable when you're first doing that. So most students, you really look at my top hand is like really close to the board here, and my bottom hand is very much underneath. So here, I'll try and do that up here so you can kind of see it a little bit. Yeah, I'm like this, right? My hands can go down a bit, but my bottom hand is the only time I will say this, almost a little bit more flat. Like my bridge isn't super up. I'm not curving this a lot. It's kind of got to be a little bit more flat, and your position is with the 1 and 5 on the 5th. So you actually can be a little bit more flat like this, right? So you're up. Your right hand is the opposite. My bridge is up. I'm curved. This isn't going to work if you're flattening your hand out like this, because that naturally is very hard to see, but I'm literally I'm touching my bottom hand when I do that. So your right hand especially, has to have a really good position of being up, having lots of space underneath my wrist for my other hand. And which means, students, you cannot flatten your keys out. I can't play with this part of my finger. I need to be up on the actual tip for my right hand on the black keys, right? So which isn't too bad, but you have to use a bit of your finger strength there. So that's the first kind of difficulty, is this finger play that they're kind of on top of each other and really closely meshed. Second thing would be, students, this song will speak a lot better if you use your accents. We have the accent in measure 1, in measure 2, these accented notes, right? So really bring out those quarter notes. It makes it a lot more fun, like if I'm just doing this, right, as compared to doing this, right? You get to, I won't say hit the piano, but you get to use a little bit more force, which is fun. So bring that out. Then we get into measure 3, which is where we do have octave, octave, octave jump. So that can look really hard to read when you're first performing this piece, but just remember we're doing C to the E flats, and then left hand is just jumping from the low C to the bass C. Now I'm moving to treble C. Middle C. So you're doing 3 position changes, right? So you can, again, I like practicing jumps. If you can't tell, this is one of the things that it's good to practice, just to put 1 and 5 on the position and get used to those jumps. And then you can practice your right hand, same thing, E flat, E flat, E flat, the black notes. Sorry, my first one's redone here. And then now you can try and play that. So I'm just not playing it as written yet. So you have those position changes, and you can practice them so that when you're actually practicing the 8th notes, now my hands are already in the position. I know that I've done it enough that I know I'm jumping, jumping, jumping. So we get all the way up to your middle C position, and then we have the 16th note figure, which looks really complex for students. Just remember that it's literally right, left, right, left, right, left, right. So the counting there, we're doing 3E and 4, right? 3E and 4 is how we can count our 16th notes. So the counting for that whole measure is 1 and 2 and 3E and 4. Your right hand gets a whole rest there, your left hand does not, to prepare for the next, what we call chromatic run. Chromaticism just means that you're using all your black and white notes. So instead of going up by step, I'm now going up by semitone or half step, right? I'm using all the white and black notes. So we do that for both hands, and we go in opposite directions, contrary motion, which means we're not going the same way on the piano, we're going the opposite ways. So left hand starts on middle C, right hand on E, and it's looking really complex if you do not do the right fingering. So the fingering for follow the fingering, right? It says 1, 2, 3, 1, and then you're gonna do 3, 1, 1. Sorry, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1. When we do chromatic, just stay close. We want our hand to be kind of positioned like this. So we're doing 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, unless there's the two white notes like E and F. 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1. Yeah. As long as you keep both hands doing that fingering, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, then it's not as hard because you're really just feeling every single note. Yeah, but putting the crescendo in there can be kind of difficult when you're starting, so practice that measure quite a bit. And my suggestion would be anytime you have the same rhythm, these are all eighth notes, same rhythm, you can add a rhythm. So same rhythm. But what I mean by that is instead of just always playing it straight through, you might be able to get this. But if you try and make it a little bit more complex for a second, once you do get it, then when you go back to the norm, it's going to be really easy. So a method to do this, I've been taught that we do some rhythms. So one of them I would do is kind of like long, short, long, kind of like swing. So you're doing long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short, right? Or right, and then you can kind of switch it, do it the other way around. Short, long, short, long, short, long, short, long. You can do, you know, short, short, long, long, short, short, long, long, or long, long, short, short, long, long, short, short. Parents in the past have been like, what are you doing? Like, what's, you know, why teach something incorrectly? The reason is that by doing that, certain notes are going to be faster and closer together, and that other notes you have the time to think on. If we're doing them all in the exact same thing, same rhythm, same time, it does help. But if we're going slow to fast, now everything has to be fast. Whereas when we do rhythm, certain notes have to be faster, other notes we have time to think about. And then that really creates, once we go back to everyone gets the full length, it can feel a lot easier. So that would be my suggestion. I really enjoy working with rhythms, and students that I work with find it really helps. So those are some good methods. Yeah, and then you have a full rest where both hands get to jump to your position. This looks really complex. You're like, what's happening? There's like a weird, you know, third with this other note crammed in. It's just all white keys. It's just the C, D, E all together. Right, we're just doing a kind of like a, I call them smush, but just a yeah, like a cluster, a bit of a cluster. It's only 3 notes, but and then we go back to the main theme again. We do this nice little theme that will now, you know, once you get it down, it feels easy. But the last change is that we do this 16th note rhythm, and now we have to jump up again, octave to octave. So we have in measure 10, 1 E and, sorry, we're on B3, 3 E and 4, jump, 1 E and 2, jump, 3 E and 4. And then both, my right hand goes even further. We go 8 VA. We're going all the way to the end, not the very last C, but we're very high in the piano. And then your left hand is jumping all the way back down to our low C. Right, so look at how far my keys are. We're really going to the span of the piano. Right hand's kind of already up here, so it's not as bad. Left hand, that is a really far jump. That's, I would assume, the furthest jump you've had so far. So practice doing that. We're all the way up here, and then we're jumping down. So this jump really kills it for a lot of students, and like a lot of songs, the hard, the last note can often be sometimes the hardest. So practice that jump like a bazillion times, and then once you have that, then you can add, your right hand, which is, I wouldn't even play it. I would just move, and then both hands, right? Right, and then getting used to the actual phrase. But you can see I am very much looking at my left hand. My right hand has to know what it's doing. I have like maybe a second here where my left hand's holding and I have my right hand rest where I can move my hand and look at these two notes. And then I don't worry about this once you've done that. You have all of that time, the whole quarter rest to one, move, and then play. Yeah, so that's my main notes for this one. I'd say, as always, the work is in the details. If you add your accents, you have your dynamics, you have all of these little position changes, and not just playing them straight, right? You can easily add dynamics to that if you're going up, so get a little bit louder, and then the last note is really make sure that you're staccato and slamming that out. So yeah, this has been Royal Mistakes with Bethany. As always, if you have any other songs that you're working on and you're like, man, I really wish you would do, I'm working on a grade 4 piece and she's not doing that yet. So feel free to comment and subscribe, and I can always skip ahead to those pieces to help you out while you're on your journey of learning Royal Conservatory songs. So this has been Bethany Talks Piano, and I will see you next time. Thank you.